doctors. We're connecting with community experts. We're connecting with you. This is Connect by 3 News.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to 3 News Connect. We want to keep everyone connected and, of course, bring you the latest developments of what's going on with coronavirus and what's going on in your community. I'm Monica Robbins, joined by my colleague, Jay Crawford. How are you doing, Jay?
Monica, hanging in there. I hope you're well. Happy Thursday to you. Good afternoon to everyone watching from home. We are apart, but we are connected through the beauty of this show, 3 News Connect. And we start each noon with the headlines, the latest news in the fight against the coronavirus. And today we begin with more numbers that really give concern to many Americans. You can add an additional 4.4 million jobs lost across the country over the past 7 days. That pushes the total number of lost jobs since the outbreak to more than 20 million jobs. Here in Ohio, the numbers are just as alarming. In the past week, more than 109,000 Buckeyes have filed for unemployment, bringing the total of lost jobs in the Buckeye State to 1 million. The U.S. Department of Agriculture reports SNAP benefits have increased 40%. Emergency benefit increases have reached $2 billion a month. And Governor DeWine is rolling back restrictions on elective procedures in Ohio's hospitals. He says doctors should reach out to patients and decide on when to proceed. Diagnostic procedures and those with chronic conditions are expected to get priority. This story is getting a lot of attention. Governor DeWine used social media to condemn offensive comments from a state senator. State Senator Andrew Brenner added to his wife's Facebook post directed at Dr. Amy Acton, comparing Ohio's coronavirus measures to those taken in Nazi Germany. He has since apologized to state officials, including Acton, who is Jewish. Governor DeWine said any complaints about policy should be directed at him. Monica?
Well, Jay, the House is expected to vote today on the nearly $500 billion new relief bill. This is new video of nearly everyone on the House floor wearing a protective mask. Now, the money in the relief package would be split between small businesses, hospitals, and coronavirus testing. President Trump says he will sign it as soon as it hits his desk. And after days of pushing to reopen the nation, well, the president is now telling Georgia's governor to slow down with plans to reopen some non-essential businesses as early as tomorrow.
I think spas and beauty salons and tattoo parlors and barbershops is just too soon. I think it's too soon.
Meanwhile, Virginia's governor is under fire for extending his state shutdown through June. And like so many industries, our hospitals are being financially impacted by coronavirus. University Hospitals announced it's reducing the pay and hours of more than 4,000 employees by 20% for the next 10 weeks. UH will also stop contributing to employee retirement plans. Now, the fallout comes from elective surgeries and procedures being delayed, and at the same time, costs to fight coronavirus have simply skyrocketed.
We are projecting about a $1.3 billion monthly impact, negative impact to hospitals in the state responding to this.
Summa Health in Akron has furloughed about 360 of its employees, but so far both Cleveland Clinic and Metro say they have no plans to make any cuts at this time. And with emergency room visits down because of the pandemic, UH is also temporarily closing more of its freestanding emergency departments. Staff will move to other locations. ERs in Avon, Amherst, Broadview Heights, Kent, and Twinsburg will close at 7 o'clock Sunday morning. Jay?
Helping those on the front line this morning, we caught up with the company Cleveland's Masters of Disasters, who brought their disinfecting truck to Burke Lakefront Airport. You may remember this is the company that donated its services to sterilize N95 masks for Cleveland police officers, firefighters, and EMS workers as a way to say thank you. The Cleveland Clinic continues to send help where help is needed. A team of clinic caregivers are now in Detroit to help with climbing COVID cases there. 13 nurses are working at the Henry Ford Health System to offer whatever assistance they can during the pandemic. Michigan, and in particular the Detroit area, has been hit very hard by the outbreak.
I just know if I was one of those healthcare workers working there and needing help, I'd expect the same from my nurses. And if we were struggling here, I would expect those healthcare workers to work too. So if I have the opportunity to help somebody in need, both patients and healthcare workers, why not go help?
This comes just days after more than 20 Cleveland Clinic healthcare workers went to help out in New York City, one of the hardest hit areas in the entire world. Will Ewick caught up with one of the nurses and shares her story now.
I don't know if I should say this, but I did not tell my parents that I was coming here until I got here. I was afraid they would try to stop me.
Lindsay Facione isn't used to keeping things from her parents, but as most parents do,
When I told them, they were like, "We're so proud of you.
they know their daughter and are glad she's helping out.
We just want you to do what you love and to help people."
It's no surprise to anyone that knows her that Lindsay is one of about 25 Cleveland Clinic healthcare workers that boarded a plane to New York last Friday, volunteering to help COVID-19 patients for a month in one of the hardest hit cities in the world. In fact, Lindsay
It was kind of a no-brainer for me.
didn't think twice.
I felt awful that they needed help and they didn't have the right amount of help. Everybody is a COVID nurse now. We're all family. We all need to help each other.
Lindsay feels grateful to be in a position to help and says compared to New York, Cleveland should feel grateful as well.
I would say there are actually more people out on the streets in Ohio than there are in New York City, which is crazy to think about. Ohio is very lucky, Cleveland is very lucky that our governor shut things down so fast. They do not understand how lucky they are. New York is very sick right now.
But if there's a silver lining, she says we'll be better prepared for future outbreaks and diseases because of this.
This is showing some of the disparities in our healthcare system.
And maybe everyone will stop for a minute and learn to appreciate what they have.
We will be so much more appreciative of life.
Will Ewick,
when this is over.
3 News.
Well, thank you very much for sharing Lindsay's story. And Lindsay, thank you and all of our healthcare providers for providing such a critical need at such a critical time. And here at 3 News, we want to recognize as many as we can, the special nurses in your life that are fighting this fight. Take a photo, send it to us, a brief description about what makes this person the superhero that they are. Send them to 216-344-3300. You can also email us at 3lovesnurses@wkyc.com. 3 News Connect is coming right back.
If the coronavirus is causing
Welcome back to 3 News Connect. Tyson's Food, Inc. announced it will temporarily close its meatpacking plant in north central Indiana. This after 146 employees tested positive for the coronavirus. The plant, located in Logansport, is closing so they can thoroughly sanitize the plant and test more than 2,000 workers. This facility produces 3 million pounds of pork daily. This is just one of several food processing plants that have temporarily closed because of virus outbreaks. Today marks the first day of Ramadan. Muslims all over the world are getting ready to take part in the annual tradition, but this year will look much different. A lot of people are not able to visit family and friends at their local mosque. This entire month, Muslims focus on fasting, prayer, and reflection. A Cleveland plant is doing its part in the fight against the coronavirus. U.S. Cotton is manufacturing testing swabs to help with the shortage there. Lena Lai reports.
Nestled along Industrial Parkway on Cleveland's west side is U.S. Cotton, a global manufacturer of cotton swabs, puffs, and beauty products.
It's one of those businesses that we have in the city of Cleveland that are world renowned. But not a lot of people know about it.
But right here lies one major solution to a nationwide shortage of swabs needed to take samples for coronavirus tests. New FDA approval of a swab manufactured by the Cleveland company was fast-tracked thanks to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which provided technical studies on the company's design. U.S. Cotton President John Nim says production begins this week.
We're pretty excited about being able to do that and help.
Ironically, the new swab isn't even made of cotton, rather polyester, said to be far easier to manufacture.
As we get people trained on the different process, we'll go 724 and make as many as we can for as long as these swabs are needed.
I couldn't be more overjoyed.
The news has city leaders ecstatic, especially for the more than 400 workers at the facility, which is being converted from making cotton swabs to synthetic ones. As many as 3 million swabs a week will be made by Cleveland hands on the front lines of a different kind.
It's a local business right up the street from where we are. We couldn't be more elated to have something like this to help with the prevention and cure of this treacherous pandemic.
Pretty incredible how everybody is coming together to help. The companies will start by producing 3 million swabs each week, but they hope to increase that number as they gain experience. Monica?
Well, Jay, for the first time in the U.S., house pets have now tested positive for COVID-19. The CDC says 2 cats in separate parts of New York have the virus. Both cats have minor respiratory illness and are expected to make full recoveries. Now, right now, doctors are not recommending animals to be tested, but they do say this.
Your biggest concern is definitely people more than pets. And if your pet does have it, you probably gave it to them.
Symptoms in pets are similar to humans, including a cough and a runny nose. And for now, the CDC says pets should social distance just like we do. Bottom line, treat your pet like any member of your family to keep them safe. Meantime, late yesterday, the Bronx Zoo announced more confirmed cases of COVID-19. 7 more big cats have tested positive, bringing the total to 3 lions and 5 tigers with the virus. Zoo officials say they think the cats were infected by an asymptomatic zoo employee. Now, the zoo has been closed since mid-March. And now we want to get a check on your forecast. Here's Matt Wintz.
All right, thanks a lot, and happy Thursday to you guys. Boy, what a start to our Thursday. We had some sunshine earlier this morning. The clouds starting to fill in, but overall, I think it's much improved over yesterday's rain and snow mix. And yeah, Jay, I know you had some accumulation out east. We did too. All right, let's talk first some numbers in terms of the April warmth. I went back and calculated the number of days at 70 degrees or above in the month of April over the last couple of years, just because I feel like we haven't quite been there yet. So 2017, we had 14 days during the month of April that were in the 70s. We even had some in the 80s. That's almost half the month. Last year, we had 8 days at 70 degrees or above in the month of April. This year, One day, that's it. And it was brief. We had a cold front that was moving in and temperatures bumped up right out ahead of it. So we deserve some 70s around here, right? And we'll get there eventually. The other thing I've been getting a lot of tweets about is the pollen. What's going on? A lot of people sniffling and sneezing. It's tree pollen this time of year. And then ragweed is low as well. But if you're sniffling and sneezing, you can blame the trees. Okay, let's talk our rain chances throughout the day. Notice how they ramp up as we go throughout the afternoon. That's because we have an area of low pressure that's heading in from the south. We'll take it hour by hour with your National Design Mart forecast. And look at temperatures, still impressing. We're in the 60s down towards the south, a little bit cooler as you get up towards the lakeshore. But as we go through the rest of our afternoon, we will bring some showers in. They'll be kind of disorganized, rather scattered, but still, all of us, especially the further south you are, stand a chance at some of this rain off an area low pressure well to the south. As we go into our Thursday night, showers will begin to scatter. You see temperatures still pretty mild, all things considered. And then our Friday doesn't look too bad either. We'll have lingering clouds. That wind will be different, though. It'll be out of the north, so that'll bring a cooling wind, especially for our lakeshore communities, where we'll likely stay in the 40s and low 50s. But inland, Dover, New Philly, over towards Akron, Worcester, you'll likely make it well into the 50s and near 60 degrees with some sunshine by afternoon. So not a bad Friday, especially to get away from the lake. And then Saturday we will deal with another system that'll move in from your west. So the rest of your day, your get outside forecast looks like this. Not the best afternoon and evening. If you can do it now or after the show, you'll be in good shape. So here's your forecast today. Mostly sunny here this morning. Will become mostly cloudy this afternoon. And the next 7 days with the Universal Windows Direct forecast bring in kind of a soggy Sunday around here before another warm-up next week. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Matt. Coming up, the NFL draft is tonight. We're going to talk with a local football player about the changes he had to make to get noticed in what is now a historic draft thanks to this pandemic. We'll reconnect after this.
After an accident, the
Heinen's in Strongsville will reopen today after shutting its doors for the second time in less than a week. It comes after a second employee tested positive for coronavirus. The company says the worker was there last on Sunday, and his test results were announced yesterday. That's when the market closed and deep cleaned. The store first shut down on Saturday after a different employee tested positive. And we have learned that the Akron Marathon has canceled its summer races due to COVID-19. To be clear, the actual Akron Marathon is still scheduled for September 26th, but here's what has been canceled. Now, the National Interstate 8K and 1 mile race that were scheduled for June 27th and the Goodyear Half Marathon and 10K that were scheduled for August 8th are canceled. Runners that have registered can either donate their registration fee or defer it to a future race. The Akron Marathon is making a donation to the Community Response Fund.
Monica, for those that have been just craving any kind of sports, we will get a slight fix tonight. Since the stay-at-home order has been in effect, the list of canceled events, well, it grows. But the NFL draft, although not the same, will actually happen tonight. And it's interesting because the real NFL tonight will conduct its draft the way fans have been doing our fantasy drafts for really the last 2 decades. They're going to do it virtually. That alone will be intrigue and reason to watch. Teams find themselves relying on technology more than ever before. What other positions could be in play for the team at number 10? Left tackle, no question, is the overwhelming priority. This team needs a better offensive line. What sort of theme will emerge for the Browns at this year's draft? They also have a huge need at linebacker. It'll be fun to watch what the Browns do this year. We got the chance to talk with one local player who says the pandemic has changed so much for him when it comes to being drafted. Jasmine Monroe has his story.
The morning all the way to the street lights came on.
NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select.
But it was always a dream of mine.
There's a spot for a guy like this moving on.
Just to want to be in the NFL.
Since Shahan Williams was 7 years old, his dream was to play in the NFL.
All I need is an opportunity to show the team what I could do.
But that opportunity will be quite different from the rest since he was unable to have a pro day due to the pandemic.
Since I wasn't able to have a pro day due to the coronavirus, I'm probably going to go, a third day pickup, which is late rounds or maybe right after the draft as an undrafted free agent.
Instead of scouts coming to Notre Dame College, Williams had to upload drills online to showcase his talent.
It just makes me feel like, man, of all the years, it had to happen this year.
But he says even though this year will be different, it's worth it.
It's no other feeling. I mean, when you step on that field, it's like nothing else matters.
He says instead of stressing about the uncontrollable events happening in today's world, he practices patience.
I mean, everything happened for a reason, so we just got to wait it out, stay safe, and, see what happens.
Well, good luck to him and all of the draft hopefuls. The draft will take place over the next 3 days. After the break, a simple gesture takes on a much bigger meaning. How one young girl is making a difference in her community with a smile and a wave.
Oh my gosh, wow. Who am I?
A simple wave connected one little girl with her neighbors during the school year, but with the school buildings now closed, she is finding other ways to connect. Danielle Wiggins has her story, and she introduces us to a Geauga County girl who, with the remainder of the smallest act of kindness, and how it has the greatest impact.
Good morning!
7-year-old Lucy DeFranco of Bainbridge has a tradition.
Ooh, that's a new record!
Every morning as she waits at the end of her driveway for the school bus, Lucy pops out of her mother's sunroof and waves at people driving by on Chagrin Road.
It felt really good because people like when I wave to them.
A smile, a wave, all reminders that it's the small things in life that we miss, because for some, those small things have the greatest impact.
Dear little waving girl, one of the things I miss most during this time that we're all isolated is those mornings when you're out waving so nicely as you're waiting for the school bus.
With roads void of those yellow buses, David Straw misses seeing the little waving girl who could always change his mood.
Sometimes you're grumpy and not feeling well and not looking forward to another day at work, and Lucy always just brings a smile to my face and makes me think everything's okay.
Straw, who owns a painting company minutes away from Lucy's house, surprised the second grader with a small gift and card to say thank you for her act of kindness. For Lucy's mom, the surprise gift is a reminder that
kind gestures can continue amidst everything that's going on.
In Bainbridge, Danielle Wiggins, 3 News.
And Lucy's mom says she's asked her daughter to continue those morning waves even though school is out. And Lucy says she just wants to make everybody happy. So, Jay, I have no doubt Lucy is going to continue waving at everybody. And those are the greatest stories. We love seeing those. So if you have any, please send them our way. Back to you, Jay.
Yeah. Monica, you're so right. It's a great story. We all need to see those stories. That's not far from here. I may just get up and drive to that intersection and wave my little heart out back at her. What a cute little girl, making everybody happy.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow at noon, of course, to reconnect with you.
All right, Monica, we'll see you tomorrow at noon. Also, we hope you join us at 5 o'clock for What's New. Betsy Kling and the entire 3 News team will join us at that time. We'll see you at 5.